Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Consolation race here at Daytona for the FBRL Hardee's National Series. We saw a Consolation race last year at Talladega, and the series decided, hey, we're going to bring it back. Everyone who failed to qualify for the Daytona 300, they're going to get their own little sprint race to entertain the fans, and so that everyone can get a chance to race together. 19 cars in this pack of cars. This order was decided based on qualifying, so there was still some value to qualifying decently well, even if it was below the threshold. But here we go. Huck Davis on pole position. He is your pole sitter, as he was the last car. Well, he wasn't actually the last car to get bumped out, but he was the highest car that did not make the race without a provisional. However, he does not hold the lead long. Cody Lamas in the 94, your Daytona 500 pole sitter, unfortunately did not have the car that was capable of making the race here. So, Lamas is in this consolation race. Now, fair play to Lamas, I will say. I mean, if there's one advantage for Lamas here running this consolation race, is that he's going to be able to get some extra time on track that some guys in the 500 are not going to be able to get. Same case for Diego Yepes, who also, in the 36, who failed to make the race as well. Lamas is your leader. Here's Shane Miller in the 55 for Team Gateway. All three Gateway cars in this race, which they were quite disappointed by. But they have an opportunity here to redeem themselves. If they can get a good finish here in this consolation race, potentially win it even. Cody Lamas trying to hold off Shane Miller here on lap number 3. There's Diego Yepes in the 36 car. Kind of disappointing he was not able to make the race. Both Young Motorsports cars failed to qualify. And, ooh, contact there as I think Evans and his teammate Tristan Grace made some slight comment there. Yepes, who had one of the big comeback stories of this race last season, where he was towed to pit lane, managed to get the car back out on track, and ended up contending for the win. Unfortunately, he will not be able to work that same magic. Probably. Perhaps one of the bigger surprises to miss the race was Alexander Rowe and the 86 for Horizon Group. I mean, coming into this weekend, there was definitely a mindset of we need to make this race, because remember, last year Horizon Group didn't race at Daytona. They the Pontiac Hardee's car was not ready in time, and they didn't make it to Daytona. They didn't make their debut until Atlanta the week after. And unfortunately, for the second straight year, the 86 does not get to race in Daytona. Now, obviously, it's not a problem on the Cup side of things, but on the Hardee side, it's been very rough here. Now, with Alexander Rowe, I think this team's going to have a really good season, but they're going to miss out on a lot of points here by not making this race today. Battle for the lead here, Don LaPrade and Cody Lamas side by side for the lead. Don LaPrade unfortunately failed to qualify. We'll get to see his teammate Ryan Reed in the race for Saturday, so I think Texas Motorsports is hoping for some success for Reed. Bit of a dogfight between him and Lamas here. Not like the Michael Vick kind of dogfight, or the plain dogfight. You get what I mean. But LaPrade and Lamas leading this pack here. And here comes Aaron Abel in the 15 for Eric Drew Incorporated. Trying to see if they can potentially lead a lap here. Also helping, he's getting shoved by Alexander Rowe. All three of the Gateway cars up here, though, running inside the top 5 area, as Shane Miller, Tyler Garcia, and Christopher Jones all trying to make something happen here. LaPrade got it put in the middle, but that 42 seems to have some decent power behind it, as he was able to get back towards the lead against Lamas. So far, it seems to be him and it seems to be the 42, excuse me, and the 94. These guys seem to have the strongest cars, at least while leading the packs. Brad inching ahead there. He leads that lap there. Him and Blaise McKinney were the two Mercedes cars to miss the field. Three wide here. Aaron Abel got a good run in the number 15 Dodge Dart. Air Drew Incorporated, a first-year team. Running a full schedule. Trying to see if they can qualify in all the races this year. They have a pretty inexperienced driver lineup, although Aaron Abel is a pretty decent get, all things considered. And they're trying to lead this race here, but I don't think that 15 has the horsepower that the 94 and the 42 have. Not for lack of trying, though. Jones, Voiles, and Jones are all shoving. The two Joneses and the 60 of Voiles, they're shoving the hell out of them as best they can, but you can tell just looking at this the difference in speed and power between some of these teams. Even on a play track like this, it's quite noticeable. Here's Jack Boswell in the number 38 car. Posted the slowest time in qualifying by a good margin. And fortunately, the car seems to be at least better in the draft. So I'm sure Tommy Roberts Racing is quite disappointed about missing the race. But at least they showed that if they were in the race, they would at least have a car that could keep up and compete. But qualifying, you have to have that single car speed. You know, draft doesn't matter there, and we saw how important that was. I think a lot of people predicted Red Bull Racing to get both their cars into the 300, and unfortunately, Poteet failed to qualify, as Danny Bouchard, however, did make it in, so at least one Red Bull Honda will be in for the Daytona race. So Poteet trying to redeem himself here. Poteet running a full-time schedule in his rookie season for Red Bull Racing. They're pretty excited about Poteet, so I'm pretty sure. So you have to imagine they're really disappointed that he's in this race, but it's good play racing experience for Poteet. He needs it. That's also partially the point of the Consolation race, is to get people super speedway racing experience here. As we're coming up on 8 laps to go of this 20-lap Consolation race here. Cody Lamas so far seems to be the man to beat, but Dunn LaPrade has been right next to him the whole way. And here's Alexander Rowe trying to force his way through the middle. But unfortunately cannot clear the cars around him. Lamas with the 42. These two are trying to hold that top lane together here, as Shane Miller in this 55. He's doing a pretty good job here. This 55 seems to actually be pretty quick in this draft. He's actually competing with LaPrade and Lamas for this lead. One of the very few cars that have been able to do that so far. Lamas still leading here. I mean, it's hard not to pick him as the favorite here, just based on his experience alone. He's the most successful driver in this Consolation race by quite a margin. LaPrade, ooh, Lamas through a small block. LaPrade thought about moving down, changes his mind. Nope, gotta commit to it now. Nice move by Dunn. I think he actually just faked out Cody Lamas. You know what? I respect that a lot. it's a consolation race, so there's not really much of a need to try and kill each other, but I do respect the hustle there. I think I think he's trying to prove something here, and honestly, him and this team, they had such a rough 2022. They're going to take every race, and they're going to take all of it seriously here, and you can see that's paying off here as he's now trying to get a run on the outside here. Shane Miller got a really good corner there with help from Voiles. And here comes Evans in the 07. Tell you what, LaPrade has now got that 94 trapped behind him here. This is actually a really smart move here. Because honestly, Lamas may have the strongest car, but if you can keep him trapped up there and make him be the guy to push you, that might be the key for a win for LaPrade here in this consolation race. I can't imagine Lamas would be too thrilled with that arrangement, though. 5 to go here. And Lamas, ooh, that's a good run. I think Lamas may have heard what I was talking about, because I really don't think he wants to be behind Dunn. And Dunn, he is now holding 3 lanes all by himself. Oh, man. Ooh, boy. I think Popcrass in that 4-3 was thinking 4 wide, but thought better of it. Imagine going 4 wide at Daytona. That wouldn't be very smart. LaPrade trying to hold this lead here with 4 laps to go. I'm really impressed by Shane Miller and this Team Gateway team right now. They are giving the fight to some very well-funded organizations here. And look at this top lane, by the way. LaPrade, Lamas, Rowe, Davis, 4 really good teams right here. 3 of those 4 cars have cup teams with wins. Well, 2 of them. Well, maybe 3. I was wondering that. Do the records for CM Racing transfer over to Shade Banyaka Racing now? Or is that a separate thing? Huh. Well, it may be 3. But either way, 3 wide for the lead here with 3 to go. LaPrade trying to hold on here with Lamas. That top lane is really strong. So I think if these guys want a shot at if these guys in the middle and bottom want a shot at LaPrade, they're going to have to really push hard here, because that's going to be a tough group to beat. Coming up on 2 laps to go here. Dunn LaPrade is doing one heck of a job defending this, I gotta say. I mean, it's not often you get to see one guy basically fight off 3 lanes. Miller trying to go underneath the 42 again. We've seen that 55. He's really good making moves. He just doesn't seem to have the help he needs to hold that lead, though. But also look at the difference in who's helping him compared to LaPrade. I do like this, though, because it is showing that outside line is actually a very good lane. If you get some good cars up there, that outside line is competitive. That's not something we see at Daytona very often here. As we're coming to the white flag here for the consolation race, it is Miller and LaPrade at the line. And if Miller can get some help, and he's not going to get it. Here comes Evans to the bottom lane. They're going to try and make a move here for the win themselves. 3 wide here on the last lap. Here in the consolation race here. Ooh, Craig Popcrass, is he potentially thinking 4 wide? No, I don't think so. LaPrade gets the run on the top lane. He clears the field entering turn 3. Coming off of turn number 4. Dunn LaPrade with an absolutely ace performance here of defense. He wins at Daytona in the consolation race. Tip of the hat to LaPrade. He just spent the last 5 to 6 laps holding off 3 lanes all at once. And he has won here at Daytona in the Consolation race, and Texas Motorsports, they've managed to achieve a victory.